Here's a family recipe that I've loved since childhood. Mushroom rice casserole. Let's show you how to do it. This quick little casserole only has 4 major ingredients. 1 package of sliced washed mushrooms. They could be button mushroom or cremini like this. 1 cup of uncooked rice, not instant or parboiled, but regular uncooked rice. 1 can of beef consomme, and up to a stick of butter. That's what the original recipe called for. Alright, let's put it together. It really couldn't get much easier than this. I've preheated my oven to 350 degrees. You're going to want a covered casserole dish. If you don't have a covered casserole dish, you could put all this in an open dish and cover it with plastic wrap that's safe for the oven. But the key here is that the dish does remain covered the entire time it bakes. And it's just about putting all of the ingredients in together. So our uncooked rice, the mushrooms, and the butter. And I have taken a liberty here. I'm going to hold back on about 2 tablespoons. So in total, I'm going to put in about 6 tablespoons of butter. I'm just going to give our butter a little bit of a cube up. You don't need to do that per se, but I think it helps to distribute it once this all starts to bake off. I will tell you this is a pretty rich dish with all this butter, and you might be thinking that it doesn't have enough liquid for all of the rice, but I can assure you once the mushrooms start to release some of their own liquid, there's plenty. I think this recipe might be known in some other families. My colleague Beth says that they call this rice Eleanor, so whatever you call it, I know you're going to call it delicious once you get a taste of this. Alright, and the last of our butter in. And final ingredient is the beef consomme. Another cute little story that I have from childhood is my grandfather on my mom's side was left home by himself a little too long and ventured into the kitchen, which was not his territory. And the only thing he could find to make was beef consomme. And I don't know if he even heated it up. But when my grandmother got home, he remarked what a terrible soup it was. It didn't have any vegetables or any noodles. And it doesn't. It's very much like a stock with a little bit of gelatin and some other things added. I'm sure you could add some mushroom stock if you wanted to make this a little bit more vegetarian, or you could add just regular old beef stock. But the recipe that I know of called for the beef consomme, so that's what I'm doing. And that's it. I don't even give it a stir. We're going to put the lid on it, put it in the oven. Again, 30 to 40 minutes. I start looking at it at 30 and take a look to see if everything's sort of boiling away and all of the liquid is getting absorbed nicely. Oh, that smells great. I've actually left the casserole in for about 45 minutes until I saw most of the liquid not being absorbed anymore. Oh, how awesome. I recommend fluffing it up with a fork and not stirring it with a spoon, just to keep all of the rice nicely separated. Oh, it smells great. I cannot wait to have some of this. Mushroom rice casserole. I hope you try this very easy recipe, and I hope you love it as much as I do. Delicious. Enjoy.